Hey everybody, it's David Duford here at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com, where I help people like you find quality life insurance despite any sorts of physical or health ailments. And today's video is all about the official guide to getting life insurance if you've been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. So you're likely watching this because you or a loved one has Lou Gehrig's disease and you're investigating what your options are at this point in taking out life insurance. So let's get started to help you out. So first of all, I'm going to explain to you who I am, what I do, and what my business is all about. Second, I'm going to tell you straight up if you can even qualify for life insurance with Lou Gehrig's disease. And then describe the types of insurance that may be available to people who have Lou Gehrig's, which includes simplified issue whole life insurance. And then I'm going to discuss the pros, cons, and give you some sample rates, and then conclude with telling you how to apply and take the next steps. So my name is David Duford. I am the owner of buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. Again, I help people that are in need of quality life insurance despite chronic or acute ailments and have difficulty in applying and getting quality life insurance. I've done this as a life insurance agent since 2011, have helped over 3,000 families across all walks of life. I'm also a published author. You can see my book in the corner. It's called The Official Guide to Buying Final Expense Life Insurance. And I also train, recruit, and coach agents across the country in their own communities to help people like yourself. And last but not least, I'm married and have 4 kids with the 4th one on the way, so cross your fingers. So the first thing that you're probably wondering and want an answer to is, can you actually get coverage if you have Lou Gehrig's disease? Short answer is most likely yes. The long answer, however, is that to some extent it depends on your age as far as what your options are, and then it depends on other combinations of health ailments. But either way, what I'm going to do here is describe to you how this particular product would work and under what circumstances this particular product would be a good idea. So the types of life insurance available for Lou Gehrig's disease really revolves around what you would determine to be best. Now, best is a subjective word. Best means different things to different people. So one of the first questions I would have you ask if you're looking for a life insurance plan and have Lou Gehrig's is, what do you want that life insurance plan to do for you? Is it just something you want to cover your final expenses? Do you just want enough to bury you or cremate you or possibly even replace income? Maybe you have a spouse you're worried about that you'd like to supplement your own income once they pass because it will alter the total income to support the lifestyle that you have. Or maybe there's a debt that you'd like to repay. Life insurance, for all of these reasons, is an excellent reason to purchase it because money walks in as soon as somebody walks out. And unfortunately, debt and income requirements and the expenses to bury someone don't just magically go away when someone dies. They come to life and are due immediately in many cases. The second question you have to ask is, what kind of budget do you have in mind? Are you looking for something that would work for your budget? That is hopefully what you're doing. You want to find something that I would deem as easily affordable. The best kind of life insurance is the one that's there when you pass away. By default, that's the one you could have easily kept all those years. So when you're looking for a plan, it's important to keep perspective. Make sure you can find something that does fit your budget, that's easily affordable, that really, really matters. So when it comes down to what you may qualify for when we're looking at life insurance and you have Lou Gehrig's, the only option available is what's called guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance. So let's break down how that works and give you the pros and the cons. So guaranteed issue whole life insurance works exactly like this. The pros being the premiums never increase. So when you get a guaranteed acceptance life insurance or no questions asked life insurance, same idea, same thing as guaranteed issue through myself or through another company. The premiums never rise. They're locked in place, as well as the coverage never cancels due to age or health. So the great thing is you cannot outlive this kind of coverage. It's permanent protection. However, there are downsides, to be fully transparent. The downside, number one, being that there's no coverage, full coverage for the first 2 years. So if natural death occurs, if you die by the onset of Lou Gehrig's disease, this plan will not pay out. Only under accidental death for the first 2 years does it pay. Now, once you pass the 2-year period of time, even if it's a day after, you would be fully paid out for how much ever coverage that you did have on the books. Generally speaking, there's a limitation that what providers will give somebody that will give somebody, whether it's Lou Gehrig's disease or any condition that qualifies for guaranteed issue. They usually max out the coverage at $25,000. Although there's ways to get more, you can buy multiple policies. There's no rules against that. something I can help you with. But let's look at some prices and carriers. Again, what I'm going to do here is quickly take you through a 60, 70, and 80-year-old male and female non-smoker rate for $10,000 in coverage. I just want to show you the companies that are guaranteed acceptance. And then I also want to show you just some sample rates as to what those age ranges would be. If you fall below that, it's going to be less expensive. If you fall above that or in between, modify the price accordingly. So let's take a look and see what the options would be. So ladies, first on the screen here, you're looking at a $10,000 whole life guaranteed issue plan. And specifically what I'm going to point out to you would be American General and the Gerber Life plans. These are the only two worth considering. They have the most competitive rates for all ages and that are looking for guaranteed issue. So what we're looking at here, if you're 60, female, 10,000, 45 to 50, roughly. And then if we bump up to 70 years old on the quote machine here, same companies, you're looking at upper 60s to mid 70s. And then at 80 years old, for $10,000 in coverage, you're looking at between 135 and 176. It just depends on which company you really want, which in most cases it's the least expensive. Now we're going to take a look at males and start at 60 years old again. These are all no questions asked prices you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. So what that means is that it doesn't matter what you have. If you've got something else other than Lou Gehrig's disease, maybe you have COPD, you're wheelchair bound, whatever, it doesn't matter. These are guaranteed acceptance life insurance plans. So a $10,000 plan for a male 60 years old, mid-50s to mid-60s. If we bump that up to 70, let's see the prices there. We're looking at between Gerber Life and American General, upper 80s to upper 90s. And then finally, if we look at 80-year-old males, $10,000 in coverage, we're looking at 175 to 250. So the point I'm making here is that the main companies that I recommend as brokers that offer the best prices are American General and Gerber Life. Besides these other companies you see, there's plenty of other ones that offer a 2-year waiting period product or a guaranteed issue type of product. I shy away from those because the price point is just ridiculous. Why pay more for the same thing you can get elsewhere, especially if it's a good quality company? That's how I think, that's how I live my life, and that's how I do my business. So my focus is on somebody who would qualify for a guaranteed issue plan, such as someone with Lou Gehrig's disease. I'd be looking at one of these two companies as being the best bet. So now, as we wrap things up, let me kind of talk to you about what the next step would be to qualify for. I will address something that's important to understand. I don't like the idea of selling a 2-year waiting period policy to my clients, but unfortunately, when someone needs life insurance, and hopefully at this point you're on the video still listening to this, so you probably do have some need. You need the coverage, and sometimes you can't get what you want, but in many circumstances, people live longer than expected. With these types of plans, they do return your premiums, so that means if you died within the first 2 years, you would get your money back, plus a little bit of interest, usually around 10%, depending on the product. So there's no way that you can lose your premiums. They will be refunded if death occurred prior to the 2-year period of time. And frankly, it's better than nothing. It's best to just get that 2-year period started as quickly as possible so that you can begin to get as quickly as possible past it and be fully covered. So applying for these programs is super simple. Hopefully you pick an agent like me to work with you. You like hopefully my work and you can see what I can do to help you out. Second, if you and I discuss matters and we decide upon a plan, I'll draw you up a quote using kind of the same process I showed you. And the great thing with both companies that I showed, they're all electronic applications, so we email them to you. It's very simple. It's all done on email. I don't need to be face-to-face with you. And then within a couple of days, you get approved, and then you get your policy sent in the mail, and that's pretty much it. Pretty simple process. So if you like what you heard here today, if this is something that intrigues you, the next step would be to visit my website at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. Just go up into your browser, fill out buylifeinsuranceforburial.com, request a free quote via the messenger. You can do it at the bottom of the screen on my website, or if you click contact at the top, I'll contact you that way. Or you can just reach out to me live. I always accept phone calls. It's 888-626-0439. And if you like this video, please share it with other people who may be struggling with Lou Gehrig's disease and wondering about this kind of thing. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. I do hope that the information you've seen today was valuable and helpful to you. Take care.